Let's talk about the lovely and corrupt European Union, the gift that keeps on giving. This time it's about what happened in the European Parliament a couple of days ago. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I'm still in Istanbul, Turkey for the next day. I think, yeah, I'm still here tomorrow and then I'm going to fly back tomorrow. I think I'm going to have to do a separate video on my fact-finding mission in Istanbul, because there's been some good stuff, but there's been some absolutely chaotic incidents, including about £200 worth of money being stolen, and yeah, that was also lovely. Classic Istanbul. Anyway, let's talk about the European Parliament, another corrupt location in the continent of Europe. So a couple of days ago we had the State of the Union, and Ursula von der Leyen, I believe this actually was her last State of the Union speech, which, by the way, nobody cares about. It's not like when the president of the US has the State of the Union speech every single year. Even that, even with POTUS, nobody cares really about the speech. But Ursula von der Leyen obviously does that every year and nobody watches it. I have to, because of, well, so that you guys don't have to suffer through it, I have to do it. But there was some very interesting moment that came out of that speech, which is the second or third time it's happened, actually. First things first, Ursula, who wants to be treated as the Queen of Europe. Obviously, that's never going to happen with her legacy being completely chaotic. We also have Ylva Johansson, who is one of the European commissioners, EU commissioners, but her portfolio is home affairs. So, you know, all this chaos with the border situation, migrant crisis, and crime going up in EU member states. Yeah, it's technically her job to supervise that, and she's not doing a great job. But during this speech, in case you haven't seen this already, when Ursula was talking, her speech was so boring, apparently, that her own commissioner was too busy knitting.
The same should be true for artificial intelligence. It will improve, without any question, healthcare, boost productivity, address climate change. We need it. But we also should not underestimate the real threats coming from AI, mostly Gen AI.
I love her. Imagine if your leader is talking about the threat of AI. Basically, most of it is the fact that things will become more robotic and you're too busy knitting like a robot who doesn't actually care about anything else. I mean, the irony is brilliant here. It's not the first time, by the way. A couple of years ago, when the whole of the European Parliament were too busy wearing face nappies for some reason, she was making another speech, a State of the Union, Ursula, and more commissioners were too busy either napping or knitting. Again.
It's warming. It's us. We're sure. It's bad. To electric scooters, from trains. It's warming. It's us. We're sure. It's bad, but was profoundly painful. Short if member states active in the same reason do not share their information at the EU level, die Medienfreiheit bedrohen. Honorable members, this is a generation.
Hang on. I noticed one thing. I know everyone was like looking at the one who was knitting, but just below her, to the right, just feel free to scroll back, watch that moment. There was another MEP wearing a face nappy in rainbow colours. That is literally like combining a number of the current things at the same time. Very impressive. All you had to do was wear the Ukrainian flag, but it was too early back then. It was 2021. Maybe we can do it now. Absolutely fascinating. So obviously we still have some freedom fighting MEPs in the European Parliament, some people who are actually against the European Union, including Isabella Tovaglieri, who's basically come out to say, what an embarrassing scene today. Immigration is being discussed in the chamber and the commissioner, Ylva Johansson, is calmly knitting, despite the fact that she is the one in charge of the union's migration policies. But Isabella wasn't the only one. We had the former MEP Nigel Farage saying even Ursula von der Leyen's own commissioners are bored to death with what she has to say. I can't blame them. She is incredibly boring. Not that they are kind of exciting, they're also absolutely boring. But it's also fascinating. I remember during the EU referendum campaign. I was going around, obviously, campaigning for Leave, in case you didn't know. And I was talking to some young people who were campaigning for their Stronger In campaign, the Remain campaign, the actual activists and campaigners. And I was just asking simple questions. You guys love the European Union so much. Can you name the commissioners? Can you name the president? Can you tell me a couple of their policies? They had no idea. They genuinely still believe the whole EU thing is about, oh, but we're just like Europe and unity and friendliness and neighbors. That's not what the EU is. The EU is a political machine, you idiots. But they don't know anything about any of that. So it's fascinating how post-EU referendum and during the Brexit negotiations, the EU slowly got started to be exposed. And we've seen more recently as well. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm going to be here until tomorrow. I thought I'd come to Turkey for a break, but there's still stuff happening in the news, so I'm not really going to fully take the break. Tomorrow we're going to have a number of updates, which I'm going to come to you guys right here on this channel. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and click on the notification bell. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.